everybody. Welcome to another Case Closed review. My name is Alan, otherwise known as Hisui.
I'm Kate, otherwise known as Narataki.
And we are from ReverseThieves.com, as well as the Speakeasy Podcast. If you want to go to ReverseThieves.com, you can get other podcasts as well as other written blog posts.
This time we're looking at Gundam Build Fighters from Sunrise, and it was streaming on Gundam.info.
And YouTube.
And it was internationally streaming. So what can we say about Gundam Boyfriend? It was enjoyable from beginning to end, and I think it might have had the best ending of the whole season.
I think that a lot of people were really, and probably 1000% understandably, miffed about Gundam Age and just kind of its squandered potential and... But if anything has restored faith in the Gundam TV shows, I would say it is Gundam Boyfriend.
This show, is just one giant commercial, but almost in the same way that the Lego Movie is one giant commercial, but they make it an incredibly enjoyable commercial at all times. That is this show. I mean, it's...
And like the Lego Movie, it's so earnest.
And that's what makes it so good, is that it's taking itself so seriously, but not at the same time. I mean, one of the things that I liked the most about the show is that I felt you could actually feel the joy the animator, the fun the animators and the director and everybody was having making the show. I think that comes through, that everybody was just really having a good time. I hope everybody really was having a good time, because that's how it comes off.
And yeah, it just seemed like they got to go through all of mobile suit history. They had the most obscure suits. They had the main suit in there from the live-action Gundam movie.
They went all out. Spoilers for me to say suits that were in the... So they had the perfect Gundam, which is from, this tiny, obscure, Gundam manga in the 80s or whatever it was. Okay, wow!
They had suits from games, they had suits from manga.
And they had suits from series people don't even like or allegedly don't like. I mean, they really brought everything into it.
Yeah, there was just quotes and references, and if you didn't catch them, it didn't matter. But if you were the crew of Gundam, they could just be oh, did you see how this one scene exactly mirrored this scene from G Gundam? Oh, yes, I did.
But even if you didn't have that level, I feel as though it has something for every level of Gundam fan, because I'm not that level at all, but Ramba Ral is just amazing throughout. He's kind of a narrator. He just pops in whenever you need him to be, and he's always throwing out lines from Gundam. Oh, and then there's the show just loves to do references. There's this episode where Sei gets hypnotized and then recites the entire all of Amaro's dialogue from Gundam. I mean, obviously we don't see that, but we were told that this happens. So.
And we get to see him reenact the Bright Slap scene where he is both Amaro and Bright, and see him get invisibly slapped.
They just had a blast, and I had a blast watching it. Talking before the podcast, some people were bringing up details about the show that didn't make sense, and I was who freaking cares? Not me. I mean, the end, I didn't totally understand the Pulaski, I didn't get how there were still Pulaski particles. Because, they make this big thing at the end, that...
Clearly, Kate, I will explain it right here. Niles, being the early genius...
You can infer that, but they don't even imply that happened.
Clearly, understood.
I'm sure that's it, but they could have at least implied it. But see, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It's just in case they want to make Gundam Build Fighters Season 2.
Please make Gundam Build Fighters.
Zeta of Gundam Build Fighters.
I mean, this thing had everything that you could want. I feel except, obviously it's not it's not a Gundam show in the traditional sense. It's a show about Gunpla, but it's like it doesn't even matter. It's still part of the franchise somehow.
And it really has it really understands the shonen sports formula as well, because there's a lot of Gundam action. A lot of people noticed there was actually probably more intricate and longer robot fights in this show than there have been in some main Gundam series. So it's definitely a Gundam show in that respect. But in its heart, it's really just a well-executed sports show.
Yes, because there's nothing about, like, war or, like, like, there's none of the really serious back-end stuff that, Gundam is about. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have anything. Like, of course, like, the friendships are amazing, and
Reiji and Sei are really easy to root for.
Of course they are! They're just great! It had a lot of good personalities. It had Niels Nielsen, which... he's an American, so of course he must have a name that rhymes with itself, and it's Gundam, so you have to have crazy bad names. But, like, we had an actually great black character who is competent, smart.
Not in any way a stereotype.
Yeah, he was, so it was a real step in the right direction, guys. I do feel like I wanted Isla's battle with Reiji to be just a little bit longer to really, like, show her ability without, like, because you had this, like, manipulation going on and, like, a bit of cheating going on, and I wanted, her to really prove herself a little bit more, but still, I was still pretty satisfied with that.
I think Fellini is...
He picks up women with Gunpla. He's a hero to us all. Kirara. We had our Gundam idol.
She's definitely a character who grew on you, especially the more she interacted with Fellini.
And that was an unexpected twist, Mao, who... I actually think that Mao is probably still a better builder than Sei. Because, like, there's this whole thing at the end where they're like, Sei is the greatest Gunpla builder, and Reiji is the greatest Gunpla player, and I was like, I think Mao is actually probably still a better builder, but he obviously couldn't defeat them in combat, but I would it's like I want those two to team up and make, like, the greatest Gunpla ever!
We got to see, most importantly in the last episode, the most important Gundam team-up that you never thought you needed to know, which was essentially Master Asia. I mean, it wasn't Master Asia, but it was Master Asia.
Pretty much.
Team up with Rumbaral.
That was the greatest moment, probably in the whole show. It was...
You were like, I didn't know I needed those two characters to team up, but once they did, I just feel like the next Gundam show should just be about those two guys.
Yes. That was amazing. I mean, it really had the best ending. That's what I was saying. It was just so epic. It was ridiculous and really satisfying. And big, and it had everything. And then just before the ending, like a couple episodes before that, they have this Gundam Festival, which might be also one of the greatest episodes, just because every background character is some character from other Gundam series.
And it's also man, I love the ship, but both characters died in it. Wouldn't it be nice if they were ever to really able to get together?
And go to a festival, because that doesn't happen ever, because no one has happiness. like Char gives Sei's dad advice, and it's just, it really enjoyed itself, and I enjoyed it, every minute of it as well, so... And the fights were actually really good, like you mentioned. So, I don't know if this would make anybody a fan of Gundam, but I'm not sure.
I also feel like the problem is that it kind of has almost reverse Macross Plus and or kind of G Gundam syndrome, in that it's a really good piece of the franchise, but it is not representative of the franchise. Like, if you got into this, it might be a bad thing to show somebody for the first time, only because it would give people the wrong impression of it could give people the wrong impression of this is what the rest of the shows are going to be like, and that is not going to be the case. If you enjoy sports shows with robots, or just need
because there's so many of those, Al.
Bus Squash, Kate. There's also Bus Squash. And if you want to stretch the term of anime, you can say Oban Star Racers. Or if you just kind of want to remember why you love Gundam, this could be a very good refresher. All right, see you guys next time.